Welcome to Wednesday night is overbooked. Your midweek cavalcade of the greatest minds. No, just minds who like to talk about professional wrestling. Welcome everyone, and we've already had someone in the chat already before the show even started. Miss Charlotte here said, "Have a great stream, guys. Love y'all." Thank you, Charlotte. Thank you very much. But let's get right to it. To my stage right is a man who's done a lot of our intros, done a lot of our clips. It is the lovely, the talented, the muted king of bad takes. That is LeftEyeEgo. Ego, how are you, sir?
Doing great. I'm only muted because I've been told I'm an angry typer, so I just wanted to make sure I toned it down before I inevitably get booted for a bad take.
Gotcha.
The only way to type is to type angry, my friend.
And right below him is our legal mind, the man whose new novel, Overrated, a Christian Leitner story, is selling great on UNC campuses, not so great on Duke campus. Bradley Burnett, the Duke Devil 95. How are you, sir?
As I mentioned earlier, with a slight hard drive crash, managing an existential crisis, but slowly recovering and being reconstructed.
Nice. And directly below me is the Matt of 1,000 holds. He is the unbearable 73. Matt, how are you, sir? In the anus of the United States, known as New Jersey, home of SummerSlam this year.
Yeah. Feeling a lot of pressure as the anus squishes around me, trying to push me to the ocean. And then Brad, your life sounds like you're losing a Fear Factory album right now.
Okay, all righty. Well, we've got some other folks in the chat already. We have our wrench dropping links right there. Mr. Jacob Ironside, thank you so much, sir. And again, be sure we have a goal: double-digit likes minimum, because we want to push this thing in the algorithm. We got stuff to do. We got links of our own down below in the description.
I'd say you better subscribe or we'll bash in some skulls, right?
And like, subscribe, share the stream out with your friends. These are all for free. If you want to support the channel even more, there's a link down in the description to that wonderful Joker Voice merch store. Yes, I will shill my own stuff. Damn Skippy, I will. I've just been informed. We are at 6 likes already. Great start, guys. So let's keep this going. Double digits or more. Preferably more. Okay, so we were going to start the show off with something, but this just came across my feed, and I'm like, I got to share this. Mr. Will Ospreay of AEW, considered one of the best in-ring performers in the world, had this to say to the Daily Star. WWE are on fire right now, but not even as a viewer, as a wrestler, I just don't enjoy it. I haven't watched WrestleMania. From what I've heard, it wasn't the best Mania. Well, you're not wrong. Maybe Io, Rhea, and Bianca was the only sick match. The three of them are sick. They are three of the best wrestlers, period. Again, he is not telling lies. For me, I was just never a WWE guy. I respect it. I respect the guys doing it. That schedule is crazy, and they are commendable for doing it. This is also the guy who did not want to go to the WWE because he did not want to do, as Triple H calls it, the grind. I don't like the show. I don't like the style of wrestling. I don't like the presentation. It's gotten better. I love the one-shots that they do, but I've never been a big fan of it. End quote.
That's nothing new.
True. So, thoughts on Mr. Will Ospreay, Mr. LeftEyeEgo?
This is what you call hustling backwards. I mean, What? Wait, which is he? Which promotion is he above now?
AEW.
Okay, this is dumb because you're eventually essentially negotiating against yourself in any kind of contract talk. Like after this, it's like it's going back to New Japan or AEW, who knows you're not going to go to WWE because you say you don't like going there. So if I know the only potential places that you're going to go, I'm gonna lowball you. This is dumb. Like even if that's the way you feel, keep that to yourself. If you especially, I understand you said, hey, WrestleMania wasn't the best, but I mean, you can look that up and find that out. You probably watched the clips of Bianca, Rhea Ripley, and Io's match, so you know that was a banger. So I'm trying to figure out what part of the presentation don't you like? What part of the packaging do you not like? What has actually gotten better? I don't. It's a vague statement to make without and saying you don't like something, but ultimately you're just negotiating against yourself and hustling backwards when it comes to contract negotiations. So I think it was a dumb thing to say.
Okay, Brad, your thoughts?
I mean, it seems consistent from what I know about Will Ospreay. I mean, he just doesn't like the product. That's fine, but is he still on AEW now?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, clearly he likes having a very light schedule. He doesn't like the grind. He prefers the presentation in style of wrestling on AEW, and I know Matt is a fan. I am not, from what I've seen. I guess if you like not having storylines and just having your boss be a guy that plays with his, wrestling toys, and you're one of them, then cool for you. But I don't even know if he's going to be interested in the WWE, or even if they're going to be interested in him at this point. I mean, there's a lot still to him.
I'm not sure about that, but Matt, I want to get your thoughts first.
Well, people need to remember that AEW is a collection of guys over there, which we got who've never been in WWE and for WWE, who have an instinctual hatred of it. Will Ospreay, Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, and Triple H is friends with the Young Bucks. He's been trying to get them to WWE since like 2005. So Kenny O has been recruited by Triple H at times too. I don't know about Ospreay. Guys like Moxley, Christian and Edge, and all former WWE guys who will never go back. Now a lot of that's because they've been burnt by Vince for 20 years, and for those three guys, and they just sometimes you can't get over visceral hatred. You know what I mean? But as to the particular of his comments, I mean, it's not unknown. Ospreay has been talking this stuff when Ricochet was, he's good friends with Ricochet, and Ricochet has the same frustration with WWE, where they get used to put on a show match and then put back into the bottom of the mid card when they don't want the show match and all that, And so WWE does a lot of things right. One thing they don't do is let the wrestlers put on a great variety of matches. NXT has been known for that, and hopefully Triple H will leak more of that into WWE. Like for example, with the matches with the women coming up from WWE and WWE lately have been better than most men's and women's matches we've seen in WWE for the past, couple of years. Or another example I've been thinking about, the reason I don't like Randy Orton, for example, Randy Orton has wrestled the same match every single time. The only variety comes when his opponent has variety, not when Randy Orton does anything differently. Now he's a great wrestler in terms of he's safe in the ring, he puts the guys over, he does the work and all that, and do promos, but it's the same match. You know what I mean? And that's kind of the frustration that Will Ospreay and some guys like Kenny O and all have with WWE style, if you know what I mean. I think Triple H is changing that slowly but steadily. You see more and more variety of, more lucha mixed in with European, mixed with American style wrestling and things like that. Weeding out some dead weight talent that we'll be talking about later, that sort of stuff. But it's what it is. I mean, Eagle's right. Maybe negotiating himself is the greatest idea. But then again, it is what it is. You can't tell everyone just to shut up and keep the whatever.
All right, my thoughts on Mr. Ospreay is this: Will, you're one of arguably the best performers in the world, but that's all you are. You are an in-ring performer. You're a gymnast. To what you are. You had your match with Ricochet in AEW, which was a carbon copy of you guys' match in New Japan. It was the exact same match, just replayed. And this is great coming from the top guy on this is does anyone remember the first Dream Team Olympics?
Yeah.
Their first game was against Angola, and star player from Angola tried to talk a little trash, and it didn't end well. So, Will, I hope you remain a shiny toy in Tony Khan's toy chest forever. I hope so, because the minute you're not, we know what happens in AEW.
I do want to amend one thing. It's a grind talk. WWE has the wrestlers working a lot more than AEW.
Right.
So
Right.
Be aware.
Right. Okay, so part of the grind and just how big the WWE has gotten, because it's no longer just Raw, SmackDown, and NXT. It's Raw, SmackDown, NXT, LFG, and Evolve. These multi-tiers of everyone's trying to move up. The kids from Evolve are a lot of them are from this WWE ID program in the Indies. The LFG is a lot of these NIL kids. Then you got NXT, which is the JV league for the WWE. And then you got the main roster, Raw and SmackDown. So everyone's trying to get up. There's only so much space. There's only so much money to go around. And there's only so much TV time. So sometimes things have to get cut and rosters have to be trimmed. And this happens about every year around this time, as Matt and I were talking about it last week. It's time for the roster to get cut. And we're just going to go over some of the names here. Now, don't be upset if when you hear a name that your first reaction is,
I'm sorry, who are you again?
Don't worry. So we have a cut from Evolve. That is Denny Palmer. She was injured, taken off the roster, and it had to come back to pro wrestling because of the type of injury she has. She has a family, and she's going to just start becoming a mom more. So good on her. Then from NXT, Javier Bernal, whose claim to fame is he married Tatum Paxley. Oro Mensah. Exactly. The faction of Alice, that is Joe and Mark Coffey and Wolfgang. This is kind of shitty because for WrestleMania 40, these three guys traveled to Hawaii to get The Rock in shape for his match.
Wow.
That's the business, though.
True. We then have Riley Osborne, recently married to, also released earlier, Blair Davenport. Eddie Thorpe, who had a brief feud with Trick Williams, had a win over Trick Williams in a strap match, but then lost to Trick Williams in the beloved, great gimmick match they have, the NXT Underground match. Nobody cares. We then have Shotzi. Shotzi is not returning. She has not been released. She was just told that her contract is not being renewed. A second member of the Metaphor faction, Jakara Jackson, has been released. This gal, when she came into the WWE, she had no matches under her belt at all. None. she had been the time you saw her on TV is her only in-ring time. So kind of shitty. I would say she would get a pass, but that's just me. Names you might have heard of from NXT. Gigi Dolan was a member of Toxic Attraction with Mandy Rose and JC Jane. And Cora Jade has also been released from the WWE. And then on the main roster, from SmackDown, KC2, Katana Chance, Caden are the only real women's tag team in that entire division has been released. The big man, Braun Strowman, and we'll go into more of these specifics on some of these. And then on Raw, Shayna Baszler leaving Zoe Stark, the only member of, it's no longer a collection, just pure garbage, I guess, is the only way to describe it now, and Dakota Kai. Now, there were some comments in here. Real quick, let me get to this. Mr. Eric Douglas says, I love Dakota and Cora, but I get Cora is too injury prone. Dakota's too old. We can get into that. And then this one. Hello, Monticello. Why do you think they decided for Bray Wyatt not to die in the ring like Owen? Wow, that's interesting. That went dark quick. Because Bray died at home, I guess. Okay, sure.
They could have dragged his corpse into the ring and
and just drop it there. All right, cool.
Wow.
Okay, so Ego, any names on that list that came as a surprise?
Not really. I mean, the only name I would know is Braun Strowman, but even then, I'm looking at him like, I mean, I guess it makes sense. It's for a lot of people that there's nowhere else for them to go. It's kind of a good thing brand wise that you kind of stacked on the roster. You've got a lot of stories that are going, but I mean, if you don't have a story, if you're not over, if you can't sell merch, like you're kind of stuck and you're kind of odd man out. So it didn't really surprise me at all. Just Braun Strowman was the one name that I recognized. Like, oh, I know who that is, but I understand why.
Okay, Brad, any shocking names?
Other than I don't know who some of these people are. No, not really. I mean, Braun Strowman is the biggest name on there, and it's like he just came back, and he really actually got into good shape. But the bottom line is, there's not much to the story anymore. I mean, he's not even the biggest, most impactful guy on the roster anymore.
Mm-hmm.
The big guy is still on the shelf with a bad foot.
Yeah.
So until Bronson Reed returns, I mean, that's the new monster among men. So, I mean, there really is no place for him. Shayna Baszler recognized Dakota Kai, but again, it's sort of like, what have they really done? They got up to the main roster and just kind of sat there. And again, with what's coming up out of NXT, what do you need these people there for?
Right. Matt, any names that came as a surprise?
Surprised that they were cut.
Yeah.
Maybe Dakota Kai, because you do kind of need a mid card of reasonably talented people. So must be good enough to lose to the top talent. Otherwise, it's one of the big things you have to watch in wrestling. Vince said this a long time ago. Is overexposure of anything. I mean, if you're top 5 women, let's say, that's more than top 5. But let's say every week all you're seeing is those top 5 women wrestle each other. People get tired of it fast. You need to have some Dakota Kai's running around, some Piper's running around and all that to wrestle them, so you don't have the top 5 people feuding with each other all the time, and they could some variety and all that. Now, Jackson.
Jackson.
I think she'll wind up someplace like TNA or New Japan where she can develop more. As a person, you can only pay someone to develop for so long.
Right.
You can only be a draft pick who's been drafted for one rookie contract, and then you got to make your way, prove yourself on some other team or the Canadian League or whatever. And now on the Braun Strowman thing, you can again overexposure. He's been overexposed. I mean, I love these big guys smash each other around, but you can't have it every week. It's got to be a limited thing. And he's got he's got overexposed, just running it every week and doing his run around the ring,
Strowman Express.
From Express, and then the same, Strowman slam, and like he needs to be like Andre, where if you saw Andre wrestle, you were lucky if it was once a month, on TV. And
okay, so
yeah,
here's some of the things. Braun Strowman was actually, of all of the names listed, probably doing the most important work on the roster. I mean, he put over Bronson Reed, he put over Jacob Fatu in matches to really showcase these guys as powerhouse monsters. And during a match against Jacob, Braun pulled his groin and continued the match. Kept going. Problem with Braun Strowman is he has bad knees, severely bad knees, and he's expensive. So I don't know. In his case, I don't know what his future would look like, because for everyone else, they're gonna find work. They're going to find work. Main roster folks have 90 days of a no compete. NXT has a month. So everyone is finding work. That's going to happen. Dakota, she's injury prone. I mean, she had a really bad knee injury in NXT. She had 2 knee injuries on the main roster, a concussion. At some point, how much can you put your faith that they're going to stay healthy for an entire year? Shayna Baszler, they missed that boat a long time ago. She had a dominant run in NXT. She had 2 reigns as NXT Women's Champion for a combined about 600 days for both title reigns. She came up to the main roster and was just a killer right from the word jump. She was in a elimination chamber match where she eliminated everybody. And she was supposed to go and she was supposed to wrestle Becky Lynch at WrestleMania 36. And this was still Vince at the time. Becky said Shayna needs to go over. Vince said absolutely not.
Another Vince casualty of Vince McMahon.
So he kind of derailed her. And what this tells me is some of these cuts, because Shayna had mostly been doing tag team stuff ever since then. You eliminated your only real tag team. If anyone thinks that the WWE gives a shit about the women's tag team division, you're lying to yourself. They don't give a fuck about it. They basically just told you this. Those tag team belts are plot devices to pair 2 folks together to eventually break them apart over something.
You need to remember, as much as we can enjoy some good women's wrestling, it's a niche product. Okay. Yes. It's like it's like the WNBA in a sense. Like the top women draw, right? As long as the product is at a certain positioning, right? But the rest of it is people don't care about, right? And you can only support so much of the niche product when fans want to clamor for the main product,
Now, Eric says that they should strip Liv and Raquel of the tag team titles and get rid of it all together. While I am for either disbanding the women's tag division all together and just getting rid of those, it's not going to happen anytime soon. And WWE is not going to make Liv and Raquel vacate those titles. Well, even though Liv is off in Tokyo filming for the next month.
I think what they should do with the women's title and even the men's titles at this point is they're good for like triple threat and 4-way match, especially for the women. The more women you get in the ring together, the better they can pull spots off. So just keep it as like it'll be wrestled, defended on TV once or twice a month in a women's fatal 4-way, so they can showcase their talent and get the spots off. And it has its place for that. It doesn't need to be. It should never be on a pay-per-view again. That's for sure.
No, there is that. Okay, now with this, the blue-haired weirdos, which all of us have dealt with in the pop culture genre sphere, it's there in the IWC as well, especially when it came to two names, Cora Jade and Dakota Kai. People lost their damn minds over this. I'm going to go first on this, and then I'll open it up to you guys. Okay. Oh, Gigi Dolan too. Was the White Knights came out. I'm like, Gigi Dolan in a month is probably going to move over to Total Nonstop Action, where her husband works, Zach Wentz, and she'll do fine over there. Cora Jade in less than 30 days is going to be a millionaire overnight because all of you virgins out there, the gooners, yes, she's doing an OnlyFans account. And she's going the Mandy Rose route. She will be a millionaire overnight. She's going to do just fine. She has gone back to her old ring name. She may go to AEW. I think on X she was calling out Julia Hart because her last match in AEW was against Julia. And Dakota's going to do just fine. She can go to TNA. I think she would do very well there. AEW, not so much, but she can go to TNA and she can work the indies. She can work for a Major League Wrestling. She can work for a House of Glory. She can work for a New Japan or Marigold or Stardom. These people are all going to get jobs. And for all the folks out there who want to do White Knight and get upset at the WWE, wherever these people land, I hope you're showing up to their show. I hope you're buying their merch. Just because they're no longer in the ivory tower doesn't mean your support of them stops. Brad, I'm going to start with you. Your thoughts on the IWC?
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. This is basically just the internet community, right?
Correct.
That's guys, just chill out. I mean, but at the same time, like I'm saying, chill out. But at the same time, like I get worked up over Star Trek and Marvel movies. So I get why they're getting worked up, but they're going to be fine. Like Joker's saying, it's not like you're banned from wrestling forever. It's not like people haven't been let go before.
Right.
It happens. It happens
every year around the same time.
Yeah. So I mean, it's like, well, wait. You're saying you hope they show up. Well, where were they? Where were they telling oh, we need to see more Cora Jade matches. We need to see more Gigi Dolan. I mean, where were they? Were they saying this? I don't follow that community, so I don't know. But like Joker saying, just follow their OnlyFans account. Be happy. Get a lot of the fact because they can't do that with WWE. You know that for sure.
A lot of the White Knights are the male feminists who stay up all night in their mother's basement watching hentai porn, eating Cheetos, wake up in the morning and wonder why their dick is orange. Just saying. Matt, your thoughts on the meltdown of the IWC?
So clarify one thing first. OnlyFans are not. It's not all hardcore pornography.
No, it's not.
It's literal. Instagram used to be where women would post bikini shots and suggested photos, and
Correct.
which all got purged out of
Lewds,
Instagram.
okay.
You know, so
Gotcha,
that's when you
okay.
say someone when you say that who was it? Jordan Grace had an OnlyFans account. She wasn't posting hardcore pornography on Instagram.
No.
So
How do you know, Ego?
I just heard, from what I heard, they were tasteful lewds. That's all that will be told.
LeftEyeEgo was our expert on OnlyFans, by the way, guys. So,
I do not have a championship belt in gooning, guys. Not at all. No, I don't.
That being said, you know the internet wrestling community used to be like we used to be part of the internet wrestling community. People like us, and now it's been taken over by blue-eyed weird
content.
Who, like complain about who don't understand like the whole Gulf of America thing. Like they don't understand the joke. Like people.
Well, that's real.
You know, no, yes, of course it's real.
Not away.
So in WrestleMania, El Grande Americano, who was born in the Gulf of America, right, and lives there, was announced as such. But because of the internet wrestling community complaining about this, now they had to they altered order to be someplace called the Gulf of Mexico. You know
what?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, for God's sakes!
Yeah.
It's a freaking joke.
Yeah.
It's
okay.
They literally. He had a great heel run set for AAA with you know the sort of playing on the Americanism of it. You know the being El Grande Americano for Gulf of America. They were playing a whole heel run for him for AAA, which they're still going to do, but they took away some of it with not getting the joke. You know,
which interestingly enough, Santi Zap. He lives in Toronto, but his family is from Colombia, and that's where he's from. And some people in his chat were making, you know, El Grande's racist, blah, 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 blah. And he said to his chat, and he's like, you guys need to stop talking for us because that's hilarious. That is freaking hilarious.
Not only that. For example, this goes back decades. People remember Speedy Gonzalez, the Warner character?
Yes.
Yeah.
So the woke people started complaining about it, but the Mexican made him a national hero.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
You know,
there was also Slowpoke Rodriguez.
Yeah. The
Mexican.
Sorry, but
Ego, your thoughts on watching the IWC meltdown or just the wokey woke liberal hive mind meltdown again?
It's weird because it's like if you just sat down and said, why is them getting released a bad thing? Like I haven't seen anyone answer that question. Like why would you think that they would get released? Like really? Like why is that a bad thing that they got released? Just like asking them seems like it would cause a meltdown. And if you're melting down on that, I'm like, you can look up of wrestlers' win-loss record, their promo skills. Like there are ratings and averages for these things. And if you can't actually perform in ring, you can't cut a promo, you don't have charisma or stage presence, you can't sell merch. What else? I can't hold on to you just because you're attached to some kind of movement.
And yet, Jade Cargill still has a job.
We'll talk about that later. we will. But I mean, like they made it a whole thing about like, you know, the alphabet community and saying, oh, they released all these alphabet community people. And I'm like, it's almost as if you should have more under your belt than just being a part of that community.
So
you know, I got blocked. But yeah. I mean,
we gotta have to Ego quick. Joker, get rid of Ego. Get rid of Ego.
I was just like, I mean,
just stop that.
I just, you know, I even put in the No Country for Old Men Javier Bardem gif to like solidify it. You know, I got blocked for what I said, but I mean, no one wanted to answer.
Oh, you poor baby.
Yeah, it was a weird day.
So it's just
it's a weird day.
and here's the final take. If you are truly a fan of these folks, okay, Gigi Dolan has been in NXT for 5 years. 5 years. She's not going up to the main roster. let her go somewhere else where she can shine. That is the best thing for her. These are not, and it's not as if you will leave the WWE and never come back. Aleister Black, Cody
Drew
Rhodes,
McIntyre.
Drew McIntyre,
CM Punk.
CM
Plus,
Punk.
they will sign
Rusev.
a merchandising deal. Because WWE will continue to sell you a merch if you sign like a merchandising deal even after you leave.
And again, I'm just, if they're not being used, why pay? Again, this seems to be the only industry where folks where fans of someone want them to be paid to not work.
Well, that's honestly, Joker. I think it's
Well,
just
that's
the
'cause of
mentality of a lot of people these days. It's not just this industry; it's all industries, and it's just this is now being seen because these are like people on TV. But I mean, if someone's not performing at a job, you're going to get let go, and if this person doesn't have a place in your workplace, they're going to be let go. That's the bottom line. It's a younger generation because of all of us here. I mean. Ego, I mean, he's almost 40 at this point, but the rest of us are in our 50s. Our old Gen Xer is like, hey, figure out how to do it right. If you can't figure out how to do it, go someplace else and try doing it. But that's a different attitude now. And these are all young people, and the people on the internet, they're probably young kids as well, younger people who aren't used to this type of attitude. So it's like, how can they get rid of it? Well, like Joker's saying, 5 years in the junior in the JV team, got to go. Don't you want to go? Wouldn't you want to go?
Right. Where and going back to Cora Jade, CM Punk sent her a message that says, "Go hunt down your dreams, kill it, absolutely kill it," which she'll do. She will get a good asking price for the indies because she's a name. Because she's been on NXT. I mean, she has reached a higher point than a lot of these folks in the indies have. She's gonna get a good asking price. And we know that Tony Khan, whoever leaves the WWE, he's got that okay, how much you want, how much you want, how much you want, how much you want, how much you want. So that's a whole nother topic that we could get into another time. But this weekend, we have a premium live event. If that feels rushed, it's because it is.
It's rushed.
And it's because they pushed WrestleMania back because they didn't want to compete with NFL playoffs and the whatnot. So
One little brief point to bring in about this week's Raw before we get there. I don't know what they're thinking with the storyline, but having Seth Rollins right away go for it, effectively not win a title.
Okay, I'll get into that. So we can get into that. So this is now we had talked about some possible matches for this week. Last week we talked about matches, and so WWE actually presented the 5-match card for Backlash. It's only going to be a 5-match show, so this show should go about
7-8 hours.
3 hours tops. 3 hours tops. That's my guess. So Brad, of the 5 matches you see here, where would you like to start first?
Let's see. Oh, whoops. I just lost the screen. There we go. Oh, let me bring up my list because I can't quite see it there. Let me see. All right. Well, let's start off. Why don't we start off with the big one to start with? The biggest of all. Cena and Orton.
Randy Orton in his hometown of St. Louis, challenging the WWE Undisputed Champion, John Cena.
Dark Cena.
Does anybody think that Randy Orton is going to win? Raise a hand.
In his hometown?
No. But he will lose the same match he always does. So.
If I was to give an answer, if Randy Orton is going to win, No. This match, again, as we have said here, there's just too much story to tell still with the heel turn of John Cena and the heel run of Cena. Do I think this match is going to be good? No. Based on what we saw at Mania, sadly, this will probably be the main event of the show, which the crowd will the crowd will make this match feel more exciting than it really is. But I don't expect a great in-ring technical masterpiece here.
No.
Matt, quick thoughts about this match and where you think it goes.
Like you said, it's going to be the main event of the program. Randy Orton wrestles the same match over and over again. Cena, he used to be a really, really good wrestler. He's obviously gotten older and lost some physical capability. They will be pushing if they made this more than a 15-minute match, though. So obviously, but Cena's going to win for sure.
Correct. Ego, your thoughts on what should be the main event of Backlash: John Cena versus Randy Orton.
I mean, it's going to be Cena Orton as the main event just because it's got name power on there. It's probably going to be, to me, the least interesting match of the night and the one of least consequence. So, I mean, I get it. It's just I'm not that interested in it. That's all.
Who do you have coming out victorious?
Cena, you're right. There's too much story to tell. I really wish, even though Cena said he wasn't going to change anything about what he did, style and clothing wise, I really wish if he didn't change clothing, he would at least adopt the phrase of break a wish. Like if you say break a wish like that, you can run with that for months. I get you'll have a run anyway, but break a wish sounds way better to me in this tour that you're doing. So I wish you would have done that.
Okay. Brad, thoughts?
Yeah, Cena's going to win. This is going to be a very plotting match. Randy still got pretty good moves, but even still, I mean, he's a little bit more limited than he used to be. And we saw what happened with Cena and Cody at WrestleMania. That was not a good match. I just hope Travis Scott doesn't come back again. Jesus.
Oh, Travis Scott. Travis Scott.
Hey, Rock, go fuck yourself.
So, yeah, this match is going to have a very deliberate pace. Was it? What is one way to ruin the Cena Orton match? I know, but I'm not going to say it to honor everyone's view. Well, let's just leave that a little bit. Thank you.
Well, they could get Cowboy Bob Orton's corpse and drop it from the ceiling.
Okay, let's not do that. Okay, this is why we love Matt. Don't. I'm just gonna with the.
Well, we did have a great suggestion
Just stop it.
about killing Bray in the ring.
Stop it. Just stop it.
Okay, I'll go next, and since we started with Cena and Orton, let's go right underneath Lyra Valkyria and Becky Lynch for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. I'm going to start here. This is the only match where a title changes hands. Becky wins this match. And what we saw on Raw was what I said was going to happen. This heel turn of Becky Lynch is starting to pay off in some way. But now, when Lyra was called up to the main roster, immediately put in as a babyface, didn't get a lot of promo time. So all you saw of Lyra was in the ring, which in the ring, she's good. But you never got to know who Lyra was. You never got to see any personality. Well, on Monday in the Go Home segment, you started to see this as she's holding her own in a promo battle and delivered some excellent lines delivered her promo on par with Becky Lynch. This is a good thing. So when Becky does take the title, which is the correct thing to do, because now it puts a name of importance. It puts some cachet on that title. Lyra now from the babyface from the babyface chase now gets to get some more passion, some more endearing from the WWE audience. They can get behind her, and this will help push Lyra to go more over with the WWE fans. And I kind of wish Ego was here, because in-ring ability, and now that we saw promo ability, oh, there you are, sir. As you said last week that they should just pair Jade and Lyra together as two sinking stones. Well, Lyra floats, and Jade is just
one promo.
That's
one
all.
Promo.
Yeah. So Poop does
One
float.
promo.
Okay, Brad, thoughts?
I agree with you. I think that Becky's going to take this. It's better to see Lyra gain some momentum as chasing rather than holding. That's where you really get to build your character, where you get to build your fan base. It's better to be in the chase as the babyface than hunted as the babyface. We saw what happened last year with a hunted babyface boring Cody Ass Rhodes championship run.
Okay, Matt, thoughts?
So I am not a big fan of Lyra Valkyria. I haven't been since I first saw her. I don't.
Thank you.
But I think you are correct over Joker, and that's what WWE's hope is, that she can generate some momentum by being on the chase rather than having the title and being the one chased, so to speak. Becky, and this is also a new title. Becky can put a nice little stamp on it with her legacy, a nice little heel run on it. That's a big thing for this belt to make it have some weight. So Becky should win this match.
Okay. Ego, your thoughts, sir. And yes, my finger is on the trigger, sir. So mind your words carefully.
I would say that the right move is going to be for Lyra to lose. I will say a broken clock is right 2 times a day, and sometimes a turd floats. Okay, especially if the turd happens to probably be Lyra Valkyria. So I mean, the turd floated this time.
You just made the list.
Is it the shit list?
You just made the list.
All I'm saying is, yeah, she'll lose. Like I said, it's going to endear to the crowd. But I mean, as long as I don't see anywhere else for it to go. So I mean, pair her with Jade, call it a day. That's what I.
He was doing okay till he got to the part about pairing her with Jade. Isn't one black hole in this galaxy enough? And that's not a racist comment. It's just like, sucking.
That was a good timing.
All righty. So we all agree. So we got Cena taking this match, Becky taking this match. Let's move over to here. Pat McAfee versus the Ring General, Gunther. Did anybody watch Raw? Raise a hand.
I missed it.
Okay.
Call part of it.
Pat McAfee, say what you will. Can he be a little cringy? Can he be a little over the top? Sure. The one thing he does do, he cuts a very good babyface promo.
Agreed.
From doing what he does with ESPN College Game Day, where he goes around the country to all these college towns. So when he's talking to Gunther and they're in Omaha, and he's talking about places in Omaha that the crowd is popping for because of what Pat has done in the past, fans love Pat McAfee. Which is why when Gunther attacked Pat McAfee, you didn't hear the audience go one more time, one more time, one more time. This is a beloved character on TV. So when he's talking about the cities that they're in, it comes across as very genuine and not pandering for a cheap pop. And Gunther came right back and said something like, "Tonight, by your grace, you are untouchable. But come Saturday, only by the grace of God will my arms be lifted from your throat." And I'm like, Jesus Christ. Gunther gets so much praise for his in-ring work. His heel promo, the smugness, and just the utter contempt that his character has for others is absolutely fucking beautiful. Now, again, do I think this match is going to be a 10 to 12 minute masterclass? No. This is going 6 to 8 minutes tops. And Gunther is going to basically be a cat playing with a bird. He's going to be playing with his food most of the match. Pat McAfee is going to lose in a very valiant effort. And this is just a setup for Gunther and Goldberg for Gunther to chop down that tree. Ego, thoughts?
I mean, yeah, I keep forgetting sometimes that Gunther is brutal in the ring, but his promo skills are fantastic as well. I still don't like the fact that y'all think that this is going to lead to Goldberg somehow coming back. Good God, it's an awful premise.
That's what it is.
I know, it's just good God. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be an entertaining match. Pat McAfee is the Zennial Mr. Rogers. He's in everything and everyone loves him. Like, I didn't know who he was. I started watching.
You're not wrong.
Yeah, everywhere you go, people love Pat, and Pat is awesome. He's one of the few people in the world that I actually want to sit down and get a beer with, other than you three gentlemen. So, like, Pat McAfee's a man, and it's gonna be a great match because he's a great entertainer. But Gunther still gets the win.
And Brad, I drink scotch, but either way.
Scotch for Brad.
Matt, thoughts?
So this match is clearly set up for Gunther to get a lot of heel heat out of it.
Correct.
He's going to brutalize McAfee in the ring. And now the interesting thing is the end of the match, right? So let's say Goldberg at SummerSlam, right? Let's just say for sake of argument, right? So do they start building towards that at the end of this match, or does Gunther have a feud in between? Now, I think Gunther's going to have a feud in between, and I think someone's going to come out and save Pat McAfee from death, so to speak, being choked to death at the end of that, and that's going to be Gunther's feud between here and Goldberg.
Possible. Any thoughts on? Do you have any thoughts on who that'll be?
It's got to be a veteran, someone who could afford to lose to Gunther,
like Sheamus, maybe. Who just
could be Sheamus? That could be Sheamus. Could be someone like that. Who won't look weak losing to Gunther.
Gotcha.
But Sheamus is a face right now, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Actually,
that's so badass.
Brad, your thoughts?
What if we just said that the Pat McAfee won, started going on a run, co-opted Yeet, and he became the Yeet Master, and then took over as the Yeet champion?
Put McAfee on. McAfee goes on a Goldberg level, like 150 man.
Wait. Yep. Brad, I've there's something else for you. On top of that.
It's ridiculous, but it's not going to happen. It's going to be brutal. It's going to be ugly. He probably Gunther. I feel ugly.
Beautiful.
I know. I feel like Gunther's going to be the cat, like I say, the cat with the mouse, just like the dead mouse, just like boom, boom,
pawing it around. Yes.
Boom, boom. And then at one point, I'm tired of just batting and just rips into it.
This is going to resemble when Undertaker squashed John Cena.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
Okay. Now, for the matches that should be a lot more fun to watch, let's start with the Intercontinental Championship. Champion, Dirty Dominic Mysterio versus Cero Miedo Penta. Brad, let's start with you. Thoughts?
I think we're going to be continuing the destruction of. God, I just forgot the name. Judgment Day.
Judgment Day. Yeah.
Finn's going to come in to try to help, and ends up screwing over Dom, and then Penta gets the win.
So you see a title change happening here.
I think there could be a title change here, and I know it's going to be quick. But with Liv being gone for a month or so, and we know that the new day, not the new day, Judgment Day is going to break up here, and Finn's going to be going on his own probably. So I think this is going to it needs to really spur it on, especially after he won it over Finn at WrestleMania.
Okay, there's a thought. Matt, your thoughts?
This match feels like it's too soon. This feels like there should have been a SummerSlam when Penta would take the title from Dom. I'm trying to do the math on this in my head, right? Okay, so Penta is building momentum. So a loss to Dom here, unless it's outside interference, a loss to Dom would weaken his momentum, right? And Dom is trying to build back his heel momentum by having a good run as a heel with a title. So the question is, what are we going to cash in? Are we going to cash in and elevate Dom's heel momentum with Penta's more limited face run, or are we going to give Penta the title to go with for a while? And like if this were at SummerSlam, Penta would win this for sure. It just feels too soon, and I think there's going to be shenanigans and maybe reset this to a long-term feud will eventually happen at SummerSlam and Penta takes the title. So I'm calling Dom wins with shenanigans.
Okay. Ego, your thoughts?
I got Dom Mysterio via shenanigans. I got it to where Finn Balor actually actively tries to betray Dominic Mysterio, and it seems like it's going to go Penta's way, but then JD McDonough, he comes in and adds some interference, resets it, so then you actually have Dom winning via shenanigans and to actually keep the feud going with Finn Balor. Otherwise, Finn slips into irrelevancy for me. Otherwise,
okay. Here's my thought, because here's something that we haven't mentioned yet that there is floating out there. Dom wins this match because you just put the title on 3 weeks ago, and he's getting a massive pop because of it. There will be shenanigans. Ref bump, ref's distracted, something. Penta may have Dom rolled up for the win until El Grande Americano comes in with that loaded mask, and hits Penta to turn the tide. Dominic gets the win. There's your feud, Penta, and Penta and Chad Gable. Sorry, El Grande Americano. Which, by the way, Brad, if you go to WWE Shop, they have those El Grande shirts now.
Oh, cool. I'm a little confused by what you were saying about something being slipped in somewhere or something in the head. That's perfectly natural, Joker. I don't know what you're talking about. That's just great skill.
Well, breaking
El
news,
Grande
guys.
Americano, his practice years to harden his forehead.
Gotcha. Right.
I got some info disagreement. See, a long time ago, Lex Luger had a plate implanted in his arm to keep his bone from breaking. Therefore, as his body was totally legal to use.
Right, of course.
Now, I've heard El Grande Americano suffered a fractured skull as a child.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
And therefore, it's entirely legal for him to use that. This is part of his body. He's a cyborg, basically.
Got it.
Oh, okay. Oh, so
Gotcha.
wait a minute. The thing that he slips in is probably actually a cushion.
Yeah, to
So that
protect
he
the other
doesn't
guy.
hurt them as much with his natural cybernetic head.
Because he can kill them with one shot. That little he didn't slip that thing.
Right.
That's like a RoboCop headbutt. That's insane.
We'd see a head explode and be bad for W ratings. They have to ban the show. You know.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it would look like that episode of Daredevil where Kingpin crushed the guy's head. It looked like that.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
True.
Totally.
No one watched it. It doesn't matter.
Okay. And now for the final match on the card for the United States Championship in a fatal 4-way, no disqualification, no countouts, no rules. It's Drew McIntyre, Damian Priest, LA Knight versus the champion, the Samoan werewolf, Jacob Fatu. Ego, your thoughts?
Man, I love Jacob Fatu's whole aura as champion. Him walking the Raiders jersey and wearing the championship belt like a shiesty mask is awesome and absolute gangster. So I want to see more of this run. He beats LA Knight clean. So that's
this is all full, or of them.
Oh, this is
fatal 4-way.
Let me see. I see Jacob. That's true. I'm for me. It's like I'm focusing on him just beating LA Knight. I think that the rest of the guys are having their own side fight, and then LA Knight eats the pin. I mean, he ate the pin to Shinsuke Nakamura clean anyway. So I mean, what's wrong with him eating another pin? I really focus on Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre. They've always had their own beef separate from this, so I see Fatu retaining.
Okay, Matt, thoughts?
The Samoan werewolf is going home with a full belly after this event. Remember, a fatal 4-way match is an ECW no rules match.
Right.
So we'll see tables, we'll see canes, we'll see some other stuff out there.
Shenanigans. Solo may try and show up.
Yep, we'll see it all.
Sure.
So this, I anticipate this being the best match of the show by far, in some respects. Well, unless you like the Lord brutality of Gunther turning McAfee into a pretzel, but
right. Yeah. Okay, Brad, your thoughts?
Yeah, I think it's probably going to be the best match, especially. Well, definitely of the Met. No, I can't see Lyra doing much. So I think it's probably going to be the best match of them all. There will be shenanigans. Solo's going to get involved somehow, just to ensure that everyone understands that the reason that Jacob is the champion is because of his tutelage. And it's going to get, I think we're going to get more of a storyline development where there is some animosity. We see more animosity between Jacob and Solo.
Okay. My thought is, of course, Jacob is going to win. I mean, you just put the title on him. You're good. And even though he's a heel, he gets pop like a face. People love this guy. I don't think he pins LA Knight because that's 2 pins in a row by the same guy for LA Knight. That would hurt him. And LA Knight is still over with the fans. The guy who can eat a pin and survive this is Damian Priest. Because you want to protect Drew, because we still have someone looming who's due to return at some point, and that is the former champion Cody Rhodes. A Drew McIntyre Cody Rhodes feud with Drew not losing via pinfall, but just being not a factor, and Drew then to go on his heel run, his heel again, where he's telling the truth, but just in a condescending way. And basically those two having that Punk Drew feud, just not as good, would be going forward. But Jacob absolutely now retains. So that is the predictions for Backlash. It is time for the staple of this show. Wednesday Night's Overbooked Top 5. Thank you, everyone in the chat who is still here. Make sure you hit that like button. We do have a goal of a double-digit likes. All of our socials are in the description.
I'd say you better subscribe or we'll bash in some skulls, right?
Alrighty. And we are holding steady at 8 likes so far. We need 2 more. Get those likes in, folks. Call your friends. Have them come over. Watch the show. Drop a like. It's fine. Okay. So for spring cleaning, we're talking about this top 5. Which the way this works, we have a category. We give our top 5 picks. Our number 5 pick gets 1 point. Our number 1 pick gets 5 points. So at the end, collectively, we'll have a definitive scientific number 1 of this particular topic, which is the surprise survivors of WWE spring cleaning. Those who are still employed by the WWE, NXT, the whole 9. So we're going to start with Mr. Ego. Your number 5, sir.
All right, so I pretty much kept mine down to SmackDown and Raw because I didn't have much time to look at NXT, the other brands. So number 5, I've got BFAB. I was looking for her and trying to find her, but I mean, she's been jobbing the last 6 months. She did an okay promo. She's bilingual, which you would think could work, but with Stephanie Vaquer, Rosie Perez coming in, like, you're gonna need more than that. She's a part of a collective, and then I haven't really seen them do much. She faced who was it? She faced maybe like 2 weeks ago.
Charlotte.
It was Charlotte, and then after that, it was good God, she just had her match with Jade at WrestleMania. Good God.
You mean Naomi?
Yeah, Naomi. Both matches seem kind of boring to me, and she's jobbed for like the last 6 months. So for me, if they said that BFAB had been let go, I'd be like, no, that makes sense. I understand it. So I got BFAB at number 5.
All right, Brad, you're number 5.
So I also stuck with Raw and SmackDown, and I had to go back and look at the list of who was still on there, and I was like, who are some of these people? And the one that I saw on there, I'm like, who the hell is Kiana James?
Kiana James is injured still. And
right.
Generally, they do not release folks who are injured as a general rule.
Right. But
I agree.
I'm sorry. Who are you again?
She was one of those early call-ups. I think it was a general shock when she got called up.
It was.
Because I remember it was the 2024 draft, and there was somewhere like, wasn't Blair Davenport brought up at the same time, I think?
Mm-hmm. Blair and Lyra, Ilya.
Yeah. So it was like
Carmelo Hayes.
Who are some of these people we brought up? And it's like, who was she? And yeah, she is injured, but she was there for maybe 3 months or 3 matches. I forget what it even was, but it's like, who are you? Why are you here? And I know they're not going to release for being injured, but she's been injured for well over a year now.
Well, she has the same injury that
that's right.
That Charlotte had, where her knee just basically exploded.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I got another one. I got another one I could actually pick, who's actually more active if we're having a problem with her being injured.
Not at all. We're fine with it. Matt, you're number 5.
Well, they're not in any particular order. There's just 5 people that I wish they had cut, basically. Mishin, I can't stand her. Yep, can't stand her. Every time she runs out, I keep hoping that they drop like a Owen body on her from the rafters or something, just to end it quickly, because I just can't stand her. You know.
Stop it! Just stop it!
No corpses, Matt.
Okay. I keep hoping that she gets 17 tsunami slams and turn into a splatter. There we go.
That's better. Jeez. Speaking of splattered, mine number 5. He's lovable, but even in a third wheel action, he's the third wheel in this one. Akira Tozawa.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I see more upside with Otis and Maxine, possibly doing something with Rusev. I just don't see where Akira fits anywhere. So Akira Tozawa is my number 5. All right, Ego, you're number 4.
All right, number 4. Even though I like the faction, Ivy Nile should have gone to me. She's my number 4 on this list. And the
Fatality.
You just said Akira Tozawa. I can't see Ivy Nile.
Flawless victory.
If it weren't for Matt, I would get up and leave. Those were funny, Matt. No, she's had like 35 losses in the last year, and she hasn't won since January 20th. What are we doing? What are we doing? You can't move her anywhere, put her anywhere. All you did was put her in there to put Lyra Valkyria over, which was awful. She's an albatross as well. She's a sinking stone. What are we doing with her?
Okay, and all Chad Gable does is lose.
Chad Gable, first of all,
All
don't come
Chad
for my,
Gable does.
don't come for my goat like that. Don't come for my goat like that.
All
Okay?
Chad Gable does is lose.
Don't do that. Don't do that. He hasn't had a WrestleMania moment yet. Okay.
Matt, stop me when I'm telling lies. The character of Chad Gable, all he does.
You know what's right,
lose.
Brad. You know what's right.
Chad
You know what's
Gable's being
right.
screwed over by this El Grande Americano
Thank
cast. Keeps
you,
stealing the momentum.
conspiracy.
Well,
Imagine if the WrestleMania when Chad would have had El Grande Americano.
Thank you.
Okay, go,
I was
honey.
just say Chad Gable's not my number 1. Why do we need him with El Grande Americano?
When I see where this is going, before we get to number 1,
That's El
I need to
Grande's
say
actual
something.
plot to drive Chad Gable out of the ring.
But anyway, that's why I've got Ivy now. Ivy Nile is 4. Either break up the faction or release her because it's not working.
Brad, you're number 4.
I'm going to say Andrade.
Ooh,
wow.
Oh, wow. Hot take.
Double-edged sword here. First off, he did have a little bit of action there recently in the U.S. Championship, but hasn't had much really. And let's be fair. Maybe there's someone there who doesn't want him there anymore.
Wow. That's spicy. That's spicy. Wow. I don't think I have anything for that. I don't have a button for that. Damn. All right, Matt, you're number 4.
Well, you mentioned him already, Akira Tozawa. I mean, Otis, for all practical purposes, has a male and female valet at this point. Unfortunately, Tozawa can't actually do the valet stuff and talk. And I'm surprised. Maybe he's on a cheap contract. I feel Otis's storyline is he's been relegated to be a comedy act, he's a much better performer. But anyway, point is Tozawa number 4. There you go.
Okay. My number 4 is actually the only member of NXT in my top 4, and that's JC Jane. Surprisingly, of the members of Toxic Attraction, the worst one is still there. JC Jane is awful. She has been in NXT for 6 years. Has never gotten past being a tag champion. She's never had a singles run. The only reason she got any press or any push at all was because she was in Toxic Attraction led by Mandy Rose. If it was not for Mandy Rose, she would have been gone before that happened. So why she's still there, I have no idea. Ego, you're number 3.
Number 3, it pains me to do this because when I heard about this guy at NXT, what was it? I guess England, I was all in. The bruiserweight, Pete Dunne.
Pete Dunne. Okay.
Fair point.
I really liked his style when he first showed up. He had the whole fist to the jaw, had the mouth guard, had a lot of moxie going about him. But I mean, lately, like in the last year, he's lost 20 matches. I mean, it's just they seem like jobber matches, even though they're not. And it's between him, Penta, and Ludwig, and then he gets involved somewhat with Finn Balor. But I mean, I don't see anywhere for him to go. came in and did sneak attacks for a few months, but again, I don't see where you're supposed to put him. I think he had the same problem that I guess was Neville at the time. I guess Pop for AEW. Same problem. Great, talented, but I mean, there are so many other guys that are great and talented too. So because I wouldn't know where to put you, it's better off just releasing him. So I got him at number 3.
Okay, Brad, you're number 3.
I'm gonna go with Zoe Stark.
Them's fighting words.
She's got skill and ability, but she's the only one left.
Seriously, no one cares.
That's basically it.
PFC, remember that? That was awesome.
Seriously, no one cares.
And also, she's kind of a black hole of personality.
True story. And she went after Liv. Don't go after my little Liv girl there.
Unforgivable.
I know. Matt, you're number 3.
Apollo Crews.
Injured.
That's a good one.
Injured, but yes.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Braun Strowman was injured. I mean, and Braun's done more in the last 5 years than Crews have done in the last 5 years.
Correct.
This is a guy, Crews, who has a look. In NXT, I really enjoyed him in NXT. I'll admit that. And then I don't know if it was Vince that ruined his WWE run or
He had promise.
He couldn't translate it to WWE top level. He's athletic, but again, it's the same thing. He's like like Christian Randy Orton. Cruz does the same sort of moveset over and over again to the point where you can predict it. You know what I mean? And unlike Randy Orton, who is a master of putting the other guy over in the ring, Cruz is not. And
correct.
So I'm surprised. I mean, other than the injured, maybe if he wasn't injured, he would be cut. What do you think?
All right. Well, Ego, you and I are on the same page. Only instead of Pete Dunne, I've also included his tag team partner Tyler Bate, the new catch, the new catch Republic, and they're both on Raw, which needs tag teams. But I would cut these guys because you never use them as a tag team,
right?
And when you do use them, you're jobbing them out as singles. And again, Pete had the whole thing. He was Butch initially, and then, but he the finger manipulation is like, boring. It's boring. It is boring, and it doesn't have the impact that it's supposed to have.
Yeah.
So Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate, number 3.
Yeah.
All right, you're number 2, sir.
Y'all are gonna be mad at me, and I anticipate a kick right after this. My number 2, Finn Balor. Suck.
Brutality.
Revived. Anyway, I'm gonna say this because in the last year he's only had 1 win in 11 matches, and this is like an 82% loss streak for 2025 and a 74% for 2024. I don't see the point of Finn Balor, and I say this because when he had the demon gimmick, much better. Even his
dropping the ego math on us.
So I have to. If I got the attorney, the scholar, and the savant, I have to be the numbers guy. Okay.
That is so cute.
I'm saying.
Hey, he's working on his character. Let it go.
I'm trying to. It's okay. When he was the demon, like his role was Bray Wyatt, AJ Styles, Bobby Lashley. Now it's like, hey, I'm somewhere in between Dominic Mysterio, Penta, and I guess JD McDonough, who supplanted me within 2 weeks. Like, if you're not going to go back to the demon and give me some sort of over-the-top character that's eating people alive, this version of you is boring, and I see why you have to wear, or actually, I see why you have to have no shirt on, because it looks like you're just wearing an oversized T-shirt with your name on it. You look like a third grader with a beard. I get rid of him. If I can't go have you go back to the demon, which you said is not dead and buried, and you would like to revive at some point, you need to go back to it, or else I'm going to cut you, because you're not doing anything for me or the Judgment Day. Once you're out of the Judgment Day, you're going to be boring as shit as a singles.
You just made the list.
The GOAT list of hot takes. You're welcome.
You just made the list.
Brad, you're number 2.
My number 2 is actually 2 people from the same group, Joaquin Wilde and Cruz del Toro. The description I saw online regarding them was the foot soldiers for the LWO. Basically,
Right.
they get sent out there to eat a pin so Ray doesn't have to.
Correct.
They have no personality. They have no purpose. They actually have skill, but why are they there other than like cannon fodder?
Yeah. Yeah. All right, Matt, you're number 2.
So my number 2 is one of my he's one of my all-time favorite wrestlers, top 20 all-time favorite. Unfortunately, WWE has been nothing with him for the past 2.5 years. It's Shinsuke Nakamura.
Almost made my list. Almost made my list.
Like, and then he's willing to do whatever they want. He has demonstrated with that horrible little run he just did as a heel. Not that he was a bad, he's a great heel. But, I mean, this guy is a phenomenal talent, even though he's older. You should be doing more with him than basically having him job out and disappear for months at a time. And if you're not going to use him, I mean, I guess Shinsuke likes the multi-million-dollar paycheck he's getting, so he's not going to complain too much about it. But
right, I also think he may have like a year left. On his deal, let him just run.
Well, I think that's the plan. Is that and because I know there's a whole bunch of wrestlers we can talk about this in another show. Shinsuke, AJ, a bunch of guys AEW who are hitting that 50-year-old mark, all saying we're not wrestling past 50.
Yeah,
which is not.
Oh, which by the way, I just heard. Now your girl Chelsea Green just signed a 5-year extension.
I hope she goes to AAA so she can show what she can do.
All right, my number 2, Matt, was your number 5, the Michin, aka Mia Yim. Why? I mean, I understand you need folks to do jobs, but when that's all you do is do jobs, you're no longer a talent. You're the Brooklyn Brawler at this point. You're Horowitz. Pat yourself on the back.
Actually, that's an insult to the Brooklyn Brawler.
Well, I'm just saying. All right. Ego, who is your number 1?
Actually, before we do this, I need the camera on me for 1 second here. Just stupid. I see what's clearly going to happen here. Just if you want to give me the full length on this one. If you are listening to this right now, I'm going to give you the true number 1 person that should have been let go. Do not listen to the rest of these 3 jokers because I'm telling you, they've all colluded against me. Okay. They know how to hurt me. They know how to go after my heart. Okay. So I'm letting you guys know, don't believe what they're saying about who the number 1 is. It's all lies and collusion. All right. My number 1 I've got is Nia Jax. I get it. Related to The Rock. You're 6 feet tall, and the women's the big show, I guess, if you want to go that route. But
she's a brick house.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's like she could be, but she moves like a soap dish. Like, you're 3-12 as of last year.
Well, you're not wrong.
There was no point in putting the championship belt on you anyway if we knew Tiffany Stratton was going to get it. So if you lose to someone that's smaller and agile, more agile than you, then you aren't necessarily a true powerhouse, which means that when you've got a real powerhouse that comes along like Jordan Grace, it's a wrap for you. The minute she power slams your ass, that's over. They're going to call that women's Hulk Mania body slams Andre the Giant moment because that's coming. And I would say this, I would even put Piper Niven against her and actually put money on Piper to go over Nia Jax. So because she technically moves like a soap dish, seemingly is a waste of space, does not know how to react to the crowd when it really counts to actually be a real heel because she sucks as a face, Nia Jax is number 1.
Wow. I'm glad that you clarified that that's Nia Jax because you actually just described Jade Cargill too.
I guess we should wait for him to come back so we can all reveal our number 1s, which he thinks is what they are, right?
And just so we know, the soap dish and the soap dish have a number 1 contenders match on Friday to see who challenges Tiffany Stratton. Nia Jax and Jade Cargill.
Boring.
A match that clearly.
Seriously, no one cares.
Well, they could drop Braun Strowman on top of both of them at the same time, just ending together.
Look, I think at the end of the year we will be discussing that as the match of the year.
Possibly.
A match of the year, a match of something.
A banger contender. So, Brad.
So,
for number one.
Obviously, there's a lot of possibilities here. A lot of possibilities. I was actually thinking, of course, of Chad Gable, because what's he been doing? He's worthless these days, right? I mean, when you have someone as skilled and fantastic who wins, like El Grande Americano, what do you need? What do you need this guy who hates luchadors for? Get rid of him. I was also thinking. I mean, you could go really bad. Go Cody Rhodes. Why didn't you get rid of Cody Rhodes? I mean, you do that. And then the obvious choice, right, Ego? Because this is one who Ego knows is coming, right? Ego knows it's coming, right? You saw it, right? Who are you thinking? The thing is, the problem, though, is the title of this. Surprise Survivors. There is no surprise that Jade Cargill is not let go.
No.
We just want it to happen. That's all. So, Jade Cargill is not my number one.
No.
In fact, my number one has also already been mentioned. Mitchin. Why? I mean, seriously, what? There was that brief feud, like you say, with Chelsea, but again, personality void. What are we doing? Just cut bait. I mean, time to go.
Okay. Matt, yours. Number one.
So my number one, this was I was kind of rolling around. Like I said, I couldn't really prepare well for this. Because it's tough to. Who do I exceedingly hate is like I couldn't make that list. Who do I hate and one gone, but I guess what's her face? The other member of she's one of Chelsea's bodyguards now.
Alba Fire.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, she's hot looking, she's attractive, but that's not enough. And yes, Chelsea needs as many bodyguards. Yes, she has a bodyguard to be guarded by as many people as possible. But she's like the fifth wheel on a fifth wheel. Alba Fire. She, even when she was in the tag team with the other chick, the other chick was the better wrestler.
No, she wasn't. No, Isla Dawn was hotter.
My audio just died. Give me a second, right back.
All right.
Gosh.
So we'll go with this because my number one is also Alba Fire, who should have been released with Isla Dawn back when they did cuts back then. Now, Alba Fire is the better in-ring performer. Isla Dawn was hotter and was the better mic, was better on the mic. They had a great run in NXT as NXT Women's Tag Champions. They got the token Women's Tag Team title because they were in a Clash at the Castle in Scotland, which is where they're both from. But when you released Isla Dawn, you should have released Alba Fire at the same time.
They worked better in a tag team, like you said. And what else can you say? It's
right. Well, you Matt, you and I agree. It's Alba Fire. So because of this, I believe, Mr. Brad, if I am correct, we have a two-way tie for number one.
Do we? I don't see that.
Yes, we have.
Oh wait, yes, that is true. Oh, I missed one at the beginning. I missed her at the beginning. That's true.
And then I believe we have a clear number 2 and a clear number 3.
Yes, number 2 is a combo.
Right.
So I got Alba Fire and Mission both as number 1 with 10 points.
Correct.
I got Pete Dunne / Pete Dunne Tyler Bate with 6 points.
Correct.
And then Nia with 5 points.
Correct.
Okay.
Wow.
Honorable mention, Chad Gable. Bye-bye.
Yes.
I don't need you.
There you go. So Alba and Meechin. Alba Fire, Meechin. All right. Now, in continuing with this will require some homework on maybe Brad and Ego's part, because with cuts come call-ups. Top 5 NXT call-ups that you're expecting to happen without Amy, Stephanie, Roxanne, and Julia.
Well, they're already there, basically.
Basically, yes. So, top 5 NXT potential call-ups for next week. And speaking of the week, Mr. LeftEyeEgo, what do you have coming up, sir?
All right. So look forward very soon within the next week for my highly anticipated review of the movie Sinners, as well as me saying that the Critical Drinker may or may not be full of shit. There will also be this Sunday at 6 p.m. Central, me and Shiro doing the actual Ordinary Games episode. We're going to be talking the bear versus the gorilla in 100 Men. Check it out.
Did you just say the Critical Drinker's full of shit?
Yes. Yes, I did. Yes.
Hot takes, sir.
Yes. Yes.
Cut that.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay. Jacob, if you're here, make a clip of that and send that to him.
I run up the chimney because I want all the smoke, and I don't lie about it.
All right. Mr. Duke Devil 95, which, by the way, how is that novel overrated? The Leitner story coming along.
Oh, very slowly, very slowly.
Oh boy.
Kind of like Leitner down the court.
Yeah, but still one of the best college basketball players ever. Fight me on that. Yeah, I'll be on Static 2020's weekend pregame tomorrow night. That's 9 p.m. Eastern. Also, go to my channel, both on Rumble and YouTube. I have the weekly Wormhole Watch. This week, we watched an episode, the 18th episode of the first season, Dramatis Personae. You can also find our reviews with Grok exclusively on Rumble, where Grok, the many personalities of Grok, tells us what she thinks about the Deep Space Nine episode we watched. And the Unhinged is, oh God, who put this algorithm together? It's disturbing on so many levels.
She's salty, I heard.
Yes.
All right. And the Matt of 1,000 holds the unbearable 73. Matt, what do you have coming up, sir?
Well, Joker and I will be on Roman's show tomorrow, which is a potpourri type of show of random topics. No set topic this week. And next week is obviously Wednesday is overbooked with, I guess, our post backlash analysis.
Correct.
And then that's more or less what I got going right now.
And as Matt said, you can catch both of us on with Roman of the Empire tomorrow, hosted by Shield Wall of Dragons. Roman is out of town, and it will be a free-range variety of topics. And again, also Backlash this Saturday. You can catch that on Peacock if you're in the United States, Netflix, everywhere else around the world. And right back here again for the weekly wrap-up in the world of professional wrestling. That is Wednesday night is overbooked. Check out the links. Check out the merch store. And hope you have a wonderful rest of your week, folks. Until next time, keep talking, keep smiling, keep having fun. Until then, doodles.
And here we go.
Is like gravity. All it takes is a little push.
Ha ha ha.